Hi, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and today I am really excited to share with you the OnePlus Open. I finally managed to get my hands on one. It's been difficult to get because it's been so popular, and these are by far, for me, in my opinion, the best folding devices available in the world at the moment, and I cannot wait to show you exactly why that is. Okay, let's get into it. So this is the OnePlus Open. Now, this device is, first of all, off the bat, very expensive, okay? Normal retail value is 1,800 euros, 1,900 euros actually, 1,899, which is a lot of money, but they do have special promos on, which I'll put links to below. They're not affiliate links. They are directly from OnePlus, and they are offering some pre-Christmas deals, so snap it up while you can, including 250 euros off. I would highly recommend, if you're in the market for a new phone and you want a folding device, this is one of the ones you should consider. Now, as you know, if you've been following the channel already, I have reviewed flipping devices from OPPO, and I have reviewed the Samsung Galaxy Fold 5 as well, actually 3 and 4 and 5. This, for me, has really begun to get it right. For a first iteration from OnePlus, they are hitting the ball out the park with this amazing device. Now, first of all, before I even start the video, massive shout out to my good friend Victor, who managed to hook me up with this device. I haven't even been able to get hold of one myself yet. I'm still waiting for that to arrive, but he got his order in straight away, and he got his just yesterday, in fact. So massive thanks to him for letting me play with this one until my one arrives. So let's take a little tour around and talk about this device. Okay, so when you first receive it, of course, you're going to get it out the box in open position. The ratio of this device, I feel, is absolutely bang on. It really is extremely well balanced. So of course, think of it like a mini iPad or an iPad mini in your hands, whenever you need, for whatever purpose. That in itself is extremely appealing, but when you then go to consider that you can literally fold it in half and use this like a regular phone, and it doesn't feel too clunky, the front screen is not too narrow, the screen quality is excellent. I'm not going to go into a lot of specs. There's been a lot of videos since it was released about 3 weeks ago, lots of spec videos. I'm going to talk about the real world usage of this. And I've been using it for around 24 hours now, and it just blows my mind. I'm so impressed by the screen quality as soon as you boot it up. The app slider, I do love the slider function on the side here, which is really, really nice, really useful feature. And the fingerprint reader is lightning fast, really, really quick, works every time, very, very fast. It does have the facial recognition technology as well, which I feel is just as reliable. If I turn it towards my face, boom, it's unlocked. Again, if I turn it towards my face, it's unlocked. So fingerprint reader or using the Face ID, it's extremely good. And I've been very pleased with this. By far, this is obviously a flagship device, but it feels like a flagship device. Very often when these companies have been releasing the fold phones or the flip phones, they kind of price them flagships, but they're not flagship material in terms of the face unlock is not very good, or the fingerprint reader is good, but it's not great. OnePlus have actually made this a flagship device, whilst at the same time making it a folding device. So that, for me, puts this right at the top of the list as something that you should definitely consider. Now, I've been very lucky to get my hands on the emerald green version. There is also a faux leather black version that has vegan leather on the reverse. But this is this is gorgeous. I love this green. I wouldn't have any problem with it. It is a frosted back here. Of course, it's covered in Gorilla Glass, which basically means it's as strong as you can get right now. But it is glass, so of course there's a certain amount of vulnerability. I really like the metallic edges. It's comfortable in the hand. It's not too sharp. It's really, really well engineered. It feels completely solid in your hands. And of course, you cannot miss that camera bump. That camera bump is pretty serious. But they're obviously making a point with that. And as you know, if you've been following OnePlus for a while, they've got a relationship with Hasselblad, which is, of course, a very well-known camera manufacturer. And that deal is actually coming to an end very, very soon, but that means it allows you to have some modifications in your images. You can use some of their filters and so on and so forth. But from a fundamental standpoint, just unboxing and using this for the last 24 hours, what I have been really impressed by is the download speeds. So setup, quick. Installing apps, quick. And now, obviously, I've got high-speed internet in various locations, wherever I am, but just the installation of apps itself, and I've used Snapdragon Gen 2, which this has in it, which is, of course, the latest Snapdragon engine or CPU. This just seems faster. I've used it on the S23, I've used it on other devices that have come out with it, but this somehow seems to be, the OnePlus Open seems to have somehow optimized it, using, of course, their Oxygen OS system, which is on top of Android, seamlessly. They have integrated it really, really well, and it absolutely is, for me, the best Android device that also flips that you can buy at the moment. So if you are looking for a new device that can also open out into a tablet display, this is the one you should get. I don't recommend the Samsung, despite the fact that I'm a huge fan of Samsung software, and I'm a huge fan of their tech as well. I'm literally still rocking the Note 10 Plus because it's such a brilliant phone. I've got the Galaxy Watch 6 that I'm also testing as well. But again, in terms of what OnePlus have been able to do here, this is just brilliant. Now, here are some of the added bonuses that you get from a company that is based in China. OnePlus have gone global, and they've released this. So this really is the cutting edge. In China, there's still some very, very good products such as the Honor Magic V2. That's a very hard phone to get here in Europe, but that is also an excellent phone, but I can't get it, so it's not comparable. Whereas this device is available, and it is just fantastic. Now, here are some of the added bonuses, like I was saying, in that you get the rocker on the side for your mute switch, volume off, and so on. Remember the days of the iPhone was famous for that with the flicker on and off. This one has the 3-point rocker for the fingerprint reader is flush against the side of the phone. It looks really, really good, and the volume rocker is just above it. It's a very long volume rocker, and it is quite high, but because this phone is not thin and long, it is the same size as a regular candy bar phone, then you kind of get used to it. And you don't really play with the volume rocker that much. So doing it, I've got large hands, so for me, it's not a problem. If you've got smaller hands, you might need to use 2. But the key thing here is when you open this bad boy up, the weight of it is a big deal because it's lighter than the Samsung Fold 5. It is lighter than an iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now that is one hell of an achievement when you think that this has got a larger battery than both of those. So what they've managed to create here with panels that are the best you can buy, 120 Hertz, they go from 1 to 120, both the front and the inner screen do that. Again, that's a difference from other folding phones. This device really is, like I said, looks, feels, and behaves like a flagship device. And that is what you want if you're spending 1,500 to 1,900 euros on any given device. So this is really cool, but that's not the only thing. When you get this device, you can see here the box that comes with it. You actually get something in the box. So let me show you and give you a little walk around exactly what's in the box. So apart from the presentation methodology, which is very nice, that's the top sheet, obviously, where the phone arrives, you get a charger in the box. Now, it sounds like a joke, but it's not. This charger, 67 watts, very fast charging. You're going to be able to charge this bad boy up in just about an hour, so, or even less. And the first 30 minutes is when you get the fastest charging. You can get up to 80%. It's mad, absolutely mad, which means that the battery life on this is going to be good. Then inside you get this box, which has lots of goodies in it. So here, apart from the printed gumph, obviously, which is your quick user guide and your SIM ejector tool, of course, you also get very cool stickers. Nice, should you be a fan, available. But you do get a protective case. How nice. You normally always need to buy these things, definitely from Samsung, definitely from the likes of Apple, but OnePlus have been kind enough to include it in the box. Now, is it perhaps the strongest thing? No, it's definitely not going to be the strongest frame, but it is going to offer some protection, particularly on the edges, where obviously this is most prone to scratching just from being in your pocket. That's going to offer protection from that. So that is what you want. I slap this on the back of this, slips on nice and easy, very snug, goes on very flush, gives you a different sort of feel in the hand with a little bit extra grip, protects the camera bump because that is a significant camera bump, and just looks very flush as well. So it is a very cool device. Now, of course, when you're watching, you can obviously use the device in this portfolio or book mode, whereby you can have it tipped up. So if you're watching a video, I was watching a video before I recorded this video, and I could watch my YouTube video on the top screen here, and you can obviously see it and use the controls on the bottom screen there. It's very well orientated. Android is adapting more and more every time they release an update for the folding devices, because these are quite simply the future of Android, because folding just makes more sense. You've got more screen real estate, you've got better visuals, and of course, if you can optimize the functioning of the apps for the folding, then of course it's going to get even better. Obviously, some of the apps are not perfectly optimized. Instagram famously is not very optimized for it. So you've got black bars on either side. Will you notice? No. Do you care? Probably not. Doesn't make a huge difference. Everything else works really, really well. You actually get an IR blaster built into this. That's what I like about Chinese phones. IR blaster, some of you watching might not even know what that is. An IR blaster is an infrared laser, effectively, that allows you to control things such as your AC device, your TV, your stereo. That's built in. You get that. They used to do that quite a bit, but now they don't. OnePlus includes that as well, so you get that in addition. And that is very useful. It's not going to be something you might use all the time, but at least you've got one remote, should you want to control IR motivated things. That's built in, super duper handy. I absolutely love that. Now, what you might also want to know is that if you've got a significant camera bump like that, you have got flagship level camera. And the camera quality on this is excellent. You've got 50 times digital zoom, but then you also have 10 times and up to 30 times optical zoom, which is really, really cool. And what that means is that basically when you zoom into something, you're actually getting a physical zoom as opposed to just a digital one. Once you get to a 30 beyond, it's a digital zoom. And then of course it gets a bit grainy and not particularly useful. Is it better than the S23 Ultra? No. But that device is incredible at refocusing and then processing the imaging afterwards. But it's pretty damn close. So you're getting a lot more, in my mind, with this device than you do with the Ultra, which is actually a bigger device and quite heavy as well. This one, you're obviously getting a semi-thick device, but you've got a fold. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, this is an unsponsored video. My energy for this is immense, obviously, but I've been watching this since they announced it, and it doesn't disappoint. It really is a fantastic, fantastic device. Now, for the sake of impartiality, of course, it's important to discuss some of the weaknesses of this device. It does come with a couple of design issues, such as, for example, laying it flat down. You're going to get a lot of rocking back and forth because, of course, this camera bump is huge. Is it a big deal? No, probably not. I haven't been able to test this device yet in low light, so I couldn't tell you exactly what the camera quality is like in low light, but according to other reviews, it isn't that great. But again, the majority of flagship devices still struggle with low light, but this has the ability to improve over time with updates. When I opened up and installed this device, it actually came with a big update that downloaded very fast and actually installed much faster than I'm used to. It was a 0.5 gigabyte, so 500 megabytes, over 500 megabyte install, and it was done within about 2 or 3 minutes. I've never seen that happen on any Android device. This nailed it. And the integration did apparently affect the camera as well, but I installed that today. So they are regularly updating. Now, in terms of OS updates, OnePlus have promised that we will get 4 years minimum of OS updates and potentially probably more security updates as well. There are no pen support. You can't use a pen on this device in terms of like the S Pen, for example, on the Galaxy Fold 5. But to be honest, even when I did use that, the functionality and all the use of it is limited, unless you're perhaps drawing or doing some sort of graphic design or something very, very finicky. Otherwise, I think for 95% of people, that's not going to make any difference. Probably the weakest thing about this for me, the strongest losing factor in terms of it being a flagship, is the lack of wireless charging. You cannot wirelessly charge this device. They omitted from putting in the coils in the back here. They say to maintain lightness. Not sure that's a really believable reason, but at the end of the day, we've all got cables. I've got cables in my office. I've got cables at home. And because the cable technology is so much faster, when you do plug it in, and if you're using the charger that comes in the box, you're going to get a much faster charge than you are if you were to use wireless anyway. In finale, the final thing that's probably a weakness is that it has no official water resistance, but it does have an IPX rating, which means that it can withstand the rain, obviously, but you're not going to be able to go diving or swimming or popping it in the sea or in the pool or in the bath. It's not recommended anyway. So in finale, is this worth 1,800? No, it's not. Very few phones are worth 1,800 euros because that's just a bonkers amount of money. But if you have the money in your bank, you have the money burning a hole in your pocket, you want to get the best folding device that you can get based on my personal opinion on this channel, then this is the one you need to go for. The OnePlus Open is an excellent device and you will not be disappointed. It will serve you. What we don't necessarily have yet is the test of time, because we are seeing this only for the first month. And of course, there are, I think it's 500,000 open and closing it's been tested for. So it's 500,000, which will take you years and years to be able to go through that many opening and folding of this device. So you're very unlikely to get wear and tear, but the test of time is always going to be the best endurance test once it gets in the hands of the customer. We've been able to see that these are very, very well built, extremely well engineered. And I think if you get one of these for yourself, you will not be disappointed. I can't wait to try and get hold of one of these for myself and give you more videos. If you are interested in more videos about this device, please put a comment below. I'd love to know. If you like my content, I would really appreciate it if you gave a sub to the channel. We're racing our way up as best we can, and your support, of course, is absolutely essential. And of course, any comments that you have about what I've said or how I've done is really, really helpful. I really appreciate it. We're building a little community here, and I massively appreciate your feedback, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye-bye for now.